This young boy, Jin-soo, is being tormented by his bullies, but the reason for being tormented is out of this world. His bullies were informed that Jin-soo tried to end himself because they have been bullying him for the entire year. The bullies do not hesitate to beat him up pretty badly, but this time Jin-soo is going to fight back. Out of the blue, he starts behaving really strangely. He tries to attack them, but the bullies are able to keep him back. Eventually, Jin-soo rushes toward them and is launched above the roof, skydiving several floors to the ground. Moments later, his father, Mr. Lee, is informed that his son is in the hospital and checks in. He visits his son. Jin-soo starts crying because he wasn't able to defend himself once more. However, his attitude starts changing when he recalls the incident. He proclaims that he has to get his revenge. Somebody has to die. As he gets angrier and angrier, he starts turning into a zombie. Lee knows that he has to do something about this, so he shuts the curtains of his room, and then uses a heavy book to beat the zombie. Next, he puts Jin-soo's body in a case and carries it. Suddenly, the case starts moving, as Jin-soo appears to be still alive. The next day starts just like a normal school day in Hyasun High School. Everybody goes about their day, and Lee does the same, showing us that he is a professor in this same high school. After the class, a girl named Hyun-ju wakes up. She complains about her fellow classmates not waking her up. As she wanders through the school's corridors, she hears some weird banging sounds from the lab, which belongs to Mr. Lee as he is the school's biology teacher. Hyun-ju decides to check it out and enters the lab. Following the sound, she uncovers a cage containing a hamster. She removes the top of it and pets the hamster. However, the hamster bites her. Hyun-ju's finger bleeds, so she places the top of the cage back in its place, deciding to go to the infirmary. At the same time, Lee enters the lab and sees some blood on the floor. Then, he grabs the girl, brings her back into the lab, and ties her up. In the meantime, Chong-san is walking toward the school's exit when he is approached by one of his best mates, Kyung. The latter asks Chong-san about his mother's restaurant, saying he wants to visit it and try the chicken. Then, the boys are met by two of their female classmates, Anjo and Isaac. The four of them decide to go to the restaurant and give the food a try. When they do, Chong-san's mother treats them to an awesome meal while standing at the side of their table, patiently waiting to receive their critique. However, the students are more worried about the rumors a girl started around the school. She believes that Mr. Lee smells like a dead corpse. The next day at school, another guy named Hyuk-soo watches the group of bullies taking a male and a female student aside. Indeed, the bullies have forced the girl to strip, while they make the male student record a video of her. They do this while they record a video of the boy who's recording the girl. Hyuk-soo tries to get involved and help the students, but the bullies threaten that they will upload the video of the girl if the students leave. Being afraid of public humiliation, the two students return to the group of bullies. As Hyuk-soo leaves, Anjo wants to approach him, but she doesn't have the stomach for it. However, she sums up all of her courage and interrupts his way at the staircase. She wants him to meet her at the roof after school is over. The dude is completely unaware of the fact that Anjo likes him, so he asks her if she wants to fight him. Anjo insists on the meeting after school to tell him something. A few minutes later, Miss Park enters the class, but before she starts her lecture, she asks the students if they have any news of the missing girl, Hyun-ju. The students have no idea where she is, and Miss Park wonders why none of them gave her a call. During the break, Miss Park has a short talk with Lee, asking him if he knows anything. Of course, Lee pretends he has no idea, but we see that he has tied the girl up as soon as he sits in front of his desk in the lab. Lee records himself talking about a virus, saying that it is trying to stay alive in the bodies it infects. He also talks about some drugs that may stall the virus development before using one of those drugs on Hyun-ju. While the day continues as usual, and Miss Park returns to her class, Hyun-ju starts transforming into a zombie. The virus has started taking over. Back in the class, a girl named Hisu experiences tremendous pain in her belly and asks to go to see the doctor. As soon as she leaves, Hyun-ju bangs on the class door. Miss Park lets her in, but the girl collapses on the floor. Some of the students help Miss Park transfer Hyun-ju to the infirmary. When they bring her in, the doctor forgets about Hisu and focuses on helping Hyun-ju. Hyun-ju is out of her mind, and she appears to be having a weird form of seizure. While her body moves involuntarily, she utters that Mr. Lee had taken her into his lab. Eventually, the doctor is able to give her a shot as the students help her contain Hyun-ju. Then, the doctor calls an ambulance, and Hyun-ju is taken to the hospital. Miss Park asks her students to keep this incident a secret for the moment, but as soon as Isaac returns to class, all the kids gather around her and ask her what happened. She tells them that Hyunju was taken to the hospital, but also comments that she smelled like a dead corpse. In the meantime, Hee-soo is having trouble recollecting herself, but nobody is there to help her. She decides to walk away. Elsewhere, Hyuk-soo and Eun-jo are walking back to the class, but she stops him. She extends her arm to give her something. That something is her name tag. Hyuk-soo realizes this must only mean one thing, that Eun-jo is asking him on a date. Eun-jo confirms that, but they are soon interrupted by Chong-san. When Eun-jo walks away, Hyuk-soo asks Chong if he is dating Eun-jo, because he has seen them being close. However, Chong and Eun-jo are childhood friends and live in nearby apartments. In the meantime, Lee returns to his lab but is surprised to see that Hyunju is not there anymore. Miss Park and another teacher named Kang apprehend him and intend to take him to the principal. Lee insists that he has to leave, but the two teachers won't allow him. In the principal's office, the man is annoyed with Lee because he decided to abduct a student close to the dates of the school evaluation. He asks the teachers to keep this incident a secret until the evaluation period is over, but Ms. Park has already notified the authorities. A minute later, Detective Daek walks in and arrests Mr. Lee. In the infirmary, the doctor starts feeling unwell and recalls that she was bitten by Hyunju while she was trying to help her. The bite mark on her forearm is huge, and she is experiencing the symptoms of the virus. Outside, Hyuk approaches the top student of the school, Nam-ra, and tries to talk to her. Nam-ra is also the class president, but she explains that she was only made a president because her mother made a huge donation to the school. Hyuk tries to make some banter with her, because he obviously likes her, but Nam-ra is not interested. Back inside the school, two guys from the group bullies see the doctor acting strange. One of them records the incident on his phone. The doctor attacks them in a frenzy, but they avoid her. Despite this, the doctor gets back up and eats one of them before starting to attack other students. The bully that was bitten rushes against everyone, and chaos breaks loose. As it seems, any person who is bitten turns into a zombie. This virus is powerful. On the roof of the school, the bullied girl, Eun-ji, is standing at the edge of the building, considering ending things for herself. She is afraid of being publicly humiliated and believes that she will not be able to carry that burden. The bullied boy walks near her and tries to convince her to not do it. Eun-ji sees him crying and asks him if he likes her. The boy admits to it, but Eun-ji says that if two losers date each other, they will create a loser couple, which would be even more pathetic. Eun-ji turns around again, but she has a change of heart when she sees people jumping out of the windows. Meanwhile, Hee-soo is walking away from the school, while Hyuk-soo grabs Nam-ra and runs with her. In the school cafeteria, Isaac sets Eun-jo up to talk with Chong-san because he is friends with Hyuk-soo. Eun-jo feels a bit awkward, but she still asks Chong-san to ask Hyuk if he likes her. Although Chong and Eun-jo are just friends, the young man feels weird when he listens to that. Maybe in his mind Eun-jo should stay single forever. In any case, their conversation is over when they see a herd of zombies trying to smash into the cafeteria. Many students have already transformed into zombies, and they are hungry for human brains. While chaos ensues, Eun-jo is pinned down by a zombie, but Chong helps her and they try to find a way to escape. Unfortunately, many other students are eaten. Somebody rings the fire alarm and the floor becomes slippery, while the fire prevention system activates. Chong sees a window and takes Eun-jo along in order to escape through there. One of the remaining bullies, Goi-nam, is trying to stay alive in the cafeteria as well, but eventually makes it into the kitchen and manages to hide. Chong and Eun-jo witness total chaos outside. They see a truck running uncontrollably and hitting a bunch of zombie students. When the truck crashes, they use it to climb back inside the building. Chong is pinned down by a zombie, but Eun-jo sees a fire extinguisher and uses it to hold the zombies back. Eventually, the two students make it back to a classroom which is safeguarded by a bunch of other students. Outside again, Hyuk and Nam-ra are trying to find a safe place for themselves when they see the gardener trying to fight some zombies off. The man is eaten soon, so Hyuk uses the gardener's ladder to climb into the same classroom as Chong and Eun-jo. Nam-ra climbs after him and the ladder is taken down by the angry zombies. In the meantime, Hyunju arrives at the hospital, which is probably bad news because nobody outside of the school knows what's going on. Elsewhere, Daek takes Lee to the interrogation room and asks him about the girl's abduction. Lee admits that he was trying to conceal a secret, which is a virus he has created. He narrates the experiment of putting a cat and a mouse in the same place. Most mice are terrified, but occasionally there will be a mouse that is so afraid that it decides to fight back with everything it's got. Lee wanted to create a gene that would turn people's fear and anger into a fight response. His son was being bullied, but he never fought back, so he developed some cells that would make him fight back. However, things did not go as planned and his son lost himself to the virus. In the hospital, Hyun-ju is inserted for an MRI scan, but her virus makes her jump up, and she starts eating people. The staff runs around the hospital, unaware that they will be turned into zombies pretty soon. In the meantime, Hee-soo walks around the streets aimlessly and is almost hit by a van carrying Hyasun High School's archery team. Back in the classroom, the kids realize that Isaac has a phone. Chong uses it to call the police and says that the school is being overrun by zombies. The operator has a hard time believing him, and lies by saying that they will send police forces soon. When he hangs up, another operator tells him that he received the same call, but things start getting serious when a third operator receives a phone call from the hospital. Can this zombie apocalypse be real? Back in the classroom, An-jo suspects that the police might not believe them, so she gives her father a call. Her father, So-ju, is a fireman and first responder, so he gathers his crew and is on the move. Out of a sudden, Mr. Kong bursts into the classroom and the kids feel some kind of safety having one of the teachers with them. However, Isaac notices that Kong has been bitten on his arm. Kong tries to convince the kids that this is not a bite and orders them to listen to him, but the kids know better and they keep their distance. Soon, Kong turns into a zombie and bites another girl. Now the students have to deal with two new zombies inside the classroom. Despite the terrible situation, they manage to keep the zombies back and make it out of the classroom while leaving these two zombies inside. Running through the corridors is not going to be an easy task as the students are attacked by more zombies. Hyuk takes action and showcases how good he is in martial arts. He starts beating the zombies up like a ninja, while the rest of the students use a wooden door as a shield that keeps the zombies back. Soon, the students run out of juice, but An-jo manages to break into a classroom which the kids can use for shelter. The downside is that An-jo has dropped her phone. The students start losing it, and one of the girls, Na-yeon, demonstrates a terrible behavior. She constantly fights with Jaehyun. She hates him because his family is poor and they receive a welfare pension. At the same time, the tension is high because Hyuk has not made it into the classroom with them. Simultaneously in the kitchen, Go-nam is hiding along with two other students, but he kicks one of them out for the zombies to eat because she could not stop crying. At the same time, 3 more students are hiding in the bathrooms. One of those students is Min-ji. She proves to be a tough cookie because she will not hesitate to do what she has to do. She suspects that the other girl hiding with her in the bathroom is going to turn, so she gets ready to attack her when that happens. Indeed, the other girl turns, and Min-ji drives a sharpened broomstick through her mouth. Nonetheless, the zombie is not finished and pushes back. At that moment, Hari from the archery team joins them and shoots an arrow through the zombie. Elsewhere, Miss Park makes it inside the school's local radio broadcasting studio and decides to talk to the students. She states the obvious, that the situation is very difficult, but also prompts the students to stay alive no matter what. At this point, we also notice that the zombies are drawn to sound since they rush toward the speakers where Park's voice is broadcasting from. In the classroom, An-jo is taking some time to herself, but her bestie Isaac wants to be there for her. She tries to speak words of courage and hope to her, saying that they will make it out of this situation. What an irony! An-jo notices that Isaac's hands are very cold, just like the hands of Hyun-ju. Isaac assumes that she was probably bitten on her ankle while they were trying to come to this classroom. Soon, Isaac starts turning into a zombie, and Chong pulls An-jo away from her. Isaac does not recognize her friends anymore and she attacks. Chong tackles her with his body and sends the zombie outside the window. Isaac is about to fall, but An-jo can't let her go, because she is still seeing her childhood friend in her. No matter how hard it is, Chong knows that they have to let her go, so he grabs a stool and uses it to make the zombie let go of An-jo's hands. After her friend is gone, An-jo is devastated, and there is nothing anybody can say to make her feel better. Meanwhile, Hyuk is hiding from the zombies, but he doesn't seem to be able to find an exit. Back in the classroom, the zombies are fighting to break inside. Chong-san thinks that they won't be able to hold them back for long, so he comes up with another idea. He grabs a water hose from the corridor and ties nooses on it. Jaehyun uses it first and descends to the radio studio, where he finds Ms. Park. Then, the rest of the students follow. Before Nam-ra's turn to use the impromptu rope, she writes a note for Hyak in case he enters this classroom later. After Nam-ra, Chong has to convince Eunjo to move and helps her descend to the studio. Suddenly though, the zombies break into the classroom and jump on Chong, bashing him outside the window. At the same time, Hyak is spotted by the zombies, so he tiptoes outside the classroom. Thankfully, he sees Chong hanging from the hose even though a zombie is holding onto his legs. Hyak jumps onto the hose and helps Chong get rid of the zombie. Then, the two of them make it to the studio. Na-yeon attacks Jaeyoung once more for no apparent reason, but Miss Park breaks them up. Then, the students decide to use the studio's computer to browse the internet for any news. In the meantime, Hee-soo is so brave that she gives birth to a child on her own. She takes her child outside but realizes that the world is crazy. She is almost hit by a police car but soon realizes that its driver has turned into a zombie. She tries to think about what she should do, but the best thing she can do now is to flee. Back in the studio, the students watch the video of the police car incident. They are startled when the hose moves around and breaks the studio's window. As it seems, the hose has been moving because a zombie is caught in its nooses. Chong tries to push it back with a broomstick until Hyak decides to break it and impale the zombie with it. Eventually, Jaeyoung grabs the computer's unit and throws it at the zombie, sending it into freefall. In the meantime, Seo-ju has not been able to go to the high school because his team was summoned to save a bunch of important politicians, even though some of them have already turned into zombies. In the studio, Yeon notices that there is blood running from Jaeyoung's nose. She wants him to leave the room before he turns into a zombie. On the other hand, Jaeyoung exclaims that his nose was hit by the broomstick when Hyak tried to hit the zombie with it. Then, Yeon notices a scratch on his hand and says that she saw the zombie reaching out to him and scratching him. To resolve this situation in the best possible way, Miss Park suggests that Jaeyoung should sit in the recording room of the studio alone for a while, just to make sure he will not turn. It usually takes 10 minutes for the zombies to turn, so Jaeyoung should be good to go if he does not turn during that time. In the kitchen, Go-nam uses everyone he can find in order to keep the zombies away from him, basically killing the others. Elsewhere, Chong-san's mother watches the news and she becomes worried about her son. She tries to call the school but nobody picks the phone up. She can't just stand there and do nothing, so she jumps on a scooter and rides away from a restaurant. Seo-ju's team is facing its own problems as one of its members has been bitten by one of the turned politicians. The team has no other choice but to constrain the zombie. The whole city has been turned into a war zone as zombies are popping out from everywhere. Huge police forces are deployed in the streets in order to hold the zombies back while the government has issued an evacuation order. The citizens should abandon the city and move to the next one. In the studio, half an hour has passes, and Ms. Park enters the recording room to tell Jaeyoung that it is safe for him to come out. Jaeyoung is angry and doesn't want to come out until an hour has passed. Everybody turns on Na-yeon because they believe she should apologize to Jaeyoung. Yeon succumbs to the pressure and enters the recording room in order to have a talk with Jaeyoung. She uses a piece of cloth to take care of the scratch on Jaeyoung's hand, but things take an unexpected turn. Instead of apologizing to him, she says that he hates him. Jaeyoung is mad at her when they come out of the recording room, and everybody turns against Yeon for being mean. However, she redirects their attention to Jaeyoung, whose nose is bleeding. Eventually, Jaeyoung gradually transforms into a zombie. He wants to leave the room on his own before he turns, but he is not fast enough and becomes a zombie. He starts attacking the students, but Chong attracts his attention to the window by humming a tune they used to share. Jaeyoung charges at him, but Chong-san jumps on the hose to swing in the air while his friend ends up on the ground. Chong sees his friend getting up again and running like crazy along with the rest of the zombies. In the meantime, Hee-soo tries to keep her baby alive and enters a random building while having a bunch of zombies on her tail. She knows that she is going to transform, so she locks herself and the baby away from the zombies, moments before tying herself up. That way she won't be able to hurt her baby when she turns. At the same time, Seo-ju is worried about his daughter and tries to give her a call, but since his daughter has lost her phone, there is no reply. Instead, Seo-ju receives a call from his superiors, telling him that they will send a helicopter to pick them up, so they need to make it to the building's roof. In the studio, Nam-ra approaches Yeon and slaps her. She blames her for killing Jaeyoung. She claims that she saw Yeon rubbing the napkin on the blood of the broomstick they previously used to kill the hanging zombie. Then she saw Yeon rubbing the napkin on Jaeyoung's scratch, which means that she infected him on purpose. Yeon denies everything, but Nam-ra challenges her to run the napkin on a wound Yeon has on her leg. Mad as she is, Yeon makes the move to supposedly rub the napkin on her leg, but she hesitates. Ms. Park stops her, but the rest of the students are infuriated with Yeon. Chong pushes her on the floor, and he can barely hold himself back. Yeon decides to leave them and walks outside the studio. Ms. Park feels terrible about it and tells the student two things: to stay alive and to not let another person die. Then, she walks outside and assists Yeon to evade the zombies coming for her. Elsewhere, a streamer has lost his mind and goes live while he tries to escape from the zombies chasing him. Well, everyone can spend their last days as they see fit. Meanwhile, Chong-san's mother makes it near the school and sees Jiang wandering around. She has no idea he is a zombie, so she approaches him to ask him about her son. Unavoidably, she is attacked by the zombies and eaten. Right then, a helicopter flies above the school, but it does not stop to check for any survivors. It only checks on the yard, which is overwhelmed by zombies. Back inside the school, the students contemplate on their attitude, but some of them express that they should not feel bad about making Yeon walk away. She was a terrible person and deserved what she got. On the roof, Eun-ji and her fellow student are still safe, as the zombies have been unable to reach them. Eun-ji proclaims that everybody deserves to die, and asks the boy if he has ever thought about anything evil. The boy replies that his life at school is terrible, so he would like to see the school burn to ashes along with everyone inside it. In another building, So-ju discusses their options with the politician. The helicopter is coming for them soon, so they need to make it on the roof. The politician is afraid that her employees will die, but there are no other real options for them. At the school, Go-nam has managed to run out of the kitchen and gives it his best to enter the main building. He evades the zombies until he makes it to the principal's office, but he sees more zombies waiting for him inside. Nonetheless, he uses a kitchen knife and kills all of them. At the same time in the toilets, Min-ji and her group are considering their options. She wants them to attempt an escape from the bathrooms, but Ha-ri does not agree. One thing leads to another, and the two girls start fighting. After a proper brawl, the boys decide to intervene and stop them. The streamer from earlier has managed to stay alive, but this is going to be his last night. After escaping several herds of zombies, the dude ends up in a playground and is trapped by a bunch of zombie kids. Judging by how eager the kids usually are to eat some sweets, these little zombies are not going to leave him alone. At the police station, Detective Daek tries to talk some sense into Lee, asking him how they can put an end to this. Their conversation becomes a bit deeper, and Lee starts narrating why he did what he did. Being a teacher at school, he had witnessed several incidents through the CCTV cameras of his son being bullied. He tried to do something about it, and the bullies were brought in front of a special committee. However, all the bullied kids were afraid, and they didn't talk about the hell they were going through. On top of that, the principal tried to conceal the truth. One night, Lee had to go to the hospital because his son had tried to commit the unthinkable. After that night, his son always came back to the house crying, but he never fought his bullies back, so Lee created a virus that would make people fight back. Daek asks if there is an antidote, but Lee tells him there is none, commenting that everyone deserves to die. Daek gets mad and desires to punch him, but he has to hold back due to his position. Then, he takes Lee away because they have to evacuate the police station. Unfortunately, the police station has already been overrun by zombies, and Daek has to fight in order to stay alive. Now, Lee witnesses firsthand what's going on in the world. Seeing Daek fighting for his life, he decides to assist the detective, but gets bitten in the process. Daek tries to drag him away when he gets the chance, but Lee knows there is no hope for him. He instructs Daek to go to the high school and get his laptop, because that's the only place he can find answers. Eventually, Lee uses his body as a shield to allow Daek to escape. When the detective runs outside, he watches his fellow officers fighting a fruitless battle. However, he finds another officer hiding and helps him out. The two of them are ready to head toward the high school, hoping to find a cure and stop this hell. Back at the school building, the students wake up at first light. They take a look outside, but nothing has changed for the better. The zombies are still wandering aimlessly, ready to attack any piece of meat they can smell. In the bathrooms, Min-ji and Ha-ri argue about what the best course of action is. Ha-ri is determined to do what she thinks is the best option, and walks outside along with her archer friend. Min-ji doesn't want to stay behind, so she takes her own friend and follows after the archers. Up on the roof, Eun-ji is faced with yet another shocking revelation. The other bullied boy reveals that he was blackmailed by Go-nam to pay him some money, or else he would upload Eun's video. In fact, Go-nam scheduled the video to be uploaded automatically, and he would only stop it if the boy brought him the money. The boy brought him the money yesterday, but the zombie outbreak took place, and he did not give the cash to Nam. Eun-ji doesn't want that video to be uploaded, and runs into the main building. In the meantime, Chong-san is worried that nobody is going to come for help. He believes that their only chance of getting somebody to help them is by calling them, but in order to do so, they have to go to the teacher's room and get their phones back. Hyak agrees with him and follows his lead to the teacher's room. As for Eun-ji, she is running through the corridors and gets eaten by the zombies. However, something is off. The zombies sniff her, but they don't attack her anymore, as if they are recognizing one of their own. Eun-ji enters the teacher's room and starts smashing all the phones, because she has no idea which one belongs to Nam. Simultaneously, Chong-san and Hyak enter the same room. They try to stay silent, as Chong reaches to grab one of the phones that are still not damaged, but he is not that lucky. Eun-ji sees him and attacks him, also notifying the other zombies of their presence. This room turns into a battlefield, and the boys are forced to split. Chong grabs the phone and runs through the corridors, while Hyak climbs out of the window and walks away carefully. In the principal's office, Nam is seen sleeping, while the principal sneaks behind him like a worm. As it appears, the man has been hiding this whole time under his desk. When Nam is woken up, the principal gives him the keys to his car and tells him to go fetch it. Nam is not that mindless to risk his life for the principal, so he suggests doing it together. When the principal gives him an attitude, Nam grabs his knife and starts saying that if this was a video game, he would be able to kill even the final boss. In other words, the principal should zip his mouth, or he might get in trouble. A role reversal right there. Elsewhere, the rescue squad has devised a plan to get the politicians to the roof. The thing is, everyone has to do their part if they want the plan to work. After a stressful run upstairs, the politician's secretary realizes that the door to the roof is locked, so he runs back down to tell Soju about it. Soju and his mate manage to earn some valuable time and rush to the door that leads to the roof. After breaking the door, everybody rushes to the roof. Soju locks the door behind them, and he lights a smoke so the helicopter can see them and land smoothly. Back at the school building, Chong is trying to escape from the zombies and bursts inside the principal's office, where he sees Nam tying the man up. The principal asks Chong for help, but the bully is not willing to set the principal free. Chong gets the cell phone out and starts recording Nam, saying that he will send the video to the police if the bully does not release the principal. While the two boys argue, the principal tries to run, but Nam kills him with the knife. Nam will stop at nothing, and he also attacks Chong. Contrary to the principal, Chong is able to escape and he runs outside. Nam chases Chong through the corridors, but the zombies intervene here and there, allowing Chong-san to get some distance from Nam. Another group of students is fighting a similar battle, but Hari soon realizes that she will run out of arrows, which might be a problem. She and the rest of her group lock themselves into a new classroom, the best option they can currently see. This virus started in the school but has expanded in the whole country. The government has established the martial law, and the military is now in control. Meanwhile, Hyak returns to his fellow students without Chong-san, a fact that makes Anjo really anxious. As for Chong-san, he still has Nam on his tail. The bully is dedicated to stealing the phone from him. Chong runs into the library and only sees one boy alive. He uses the same strategy, climbing on the top of the bookshelves where the zombies can't reach them. Nam is manically running after him, so Chong has to jump from one shelf to the next. As for the other boy, he is plainly thrown at the zombies by the bully. Eventually, Nam catches up to Chong and pins him down on top of a shelf. He warns him to hand him the phone, but Chong is not willing to work with him. Nam tries to kill the young student, but Chong uses the phone to impale his eye. Nam can't deal with the immense pain, so Chong finds the opportunity to pull him and throw him to the zombies, which start eating him out. Then, the zombies rush against Chong, but he manages to run out of the library. He tries to enter the heating system funnel while a zombie holds onto his leg. Without Chong being aware, Hari and her group appear in the corridor, killing the zombie. The group is also not aware of Chong-san's presence, so they enter a new classroom to protect themselves. They also find a computer, but the internet connection is taking way too long. At the same time, Chong is trying to make a phone call, but he is not getting reception. Outside this chaos, a military official is issuing a public statement saying that the situation is already bad, but it is getting worse with the fake rumors spreading via the internet. Therefore, they have decided to restrict access to the web. The students have no idea about this. When the Archer boy tries to connect to his social media accounts, he gets a message that he can't access the web. Now it's official, the kids can't communicate with anyone anymore. Anjo can't hold her tears back because she is worried about her father and Chong-san. She asks one of the other students, Yang, if they can use the drone from the tech lab to scan the school. Yang replies that they can do it, but they have to go get it first. Without further ado, Yang and Anjo climb some floor up to go for the drone. In the busy zombie streets of the city, the detective and his officer are trying to find a way toward the school. However, they are being relentlessly chased by zombies, so they randomly find shelter in a restaurant. This is the same restaurant where his son brought her baby earlier. As the two men witness, the baby is still alive, but the mother has been turned into a zombie. Back in the school, Chong gets out from the heating funnel and makes a run, ending up in another classroom. Anjo and Yang find the drone and make it back to the rest of the students. They set the drone up and fly it across the school, looking for Chong. Everybody is fighting for survival. Haori and her group decide it's time to attempt an escape. They kill some of the zombies with their arrows before jumping outside of the window. At the same time, Yang finds Chong via the drone. The students also take a look at the streets outside of the school, trying to evaluate the overall situation. Sadly, one of the female students recognizes her parents' vehicle. Yang flies the drone closer, and the girl bursts into cries once she realizes that her parents are dead. Then, the drone is taken down by the zombies. Elsewhere, Soju's crew and the politicians are taken to a facility where they can be protected. The military is now in full control of everything, and everyone that comes into the facility has to be quarantined and tested. Another weird incident takes place in the school. Goenam wakes up, and the zombies rush on him, but this time they stop as soon as they smell him, assuming that he is one of them. Goenam understands that the zombies are not attacking him anymore, and makes a statement to kill Chong-san. The same thing has happened with Inju, who appears to be human, but also infected at the same time. The virus is evolving. Later, the girl who lost her parents, Ji-min, tries to end herself, but her fellow students stop her. Anjo tries to console them, but Nam-ra interrupts them when she walks into the recording room because she has an idea. The kids can use the speakers to draw the zombies in whichever direction they want by playing sound in the appropriate areas of the school. Hyuk speaks to Chong, telling him to stay where he is because they are coming for him, and then the students set their plan in motion. After luring the zombies away, the group walks carefully behind a zombie that is banging itself on the wall. The zombie spots them, so Hyuk stays behind to fight it. Goenam gets involved and kills the zombie, but then he wants to kill Hyuk. The two of them start fighting, but Goenam is too strong. Nam-ra tries to help, but she is bitten by the bully zombie. Eventually, Hyuk charges at him and pushes him outside the window. After a wild run, all of the students make it to Chong's classroom. The kids have no idea Nayeon is hiding behind the locked second door inside the classroom, which is also full of supplies. Although they get a moment to rest, the students now realize that Nam-ra is bitten as well. In the meantime, Soju tells the politician that he has to get out of here. He has to go and find his daughter. When 3 soldiers come to bring them food, Sujo and his mate beat them up, dress like them, and walk outside pretending to be soldiers. In the new classroom, the kids start arguing about Nam-ra. Chong-san believes that they should kick her out before it's too late, but Hyuk tells them about Goenam. Although he was infected, he was still human. Since Nam-ra was bitten by him, she will stay human as well. Chong has a hard time believing that because he saw Goenam being eaten by the zombies. In any case, Hyuk takes Nam-ra near the window and says that he will push her out if she turns into a zombie. In another closed space, Min-ji is having a short talk with her friend who has injured his leg. He says he should have never listened to her, because there was no chance they could make it outside. But Min-ji asks him to stop whining like a baby. Later, Nam-ra starts turning into a zombie, and Chong-san tries to attack her. Hyuk defends her, and the two boys start fighting. However, they are stopped by the rest of their mates, who mention that Nam-ra has not turned entirely into a zombie. She is still conscious as a human. Ji-min proclaims that she needs to leave anyway, but Anjo asks her to recall Ms. Park's words, who told them to not let another member of their group die. Nam-ra doesn't want them to fight, so she starts walking toward the exit. However, Hyuk stops her and ties his arm to hers. If Nam-ra turns, he will be the first person she will bite, and the other will have enough time to escape. Meanwhile, the detective and his officer decide to leave the restaurant, but they stop when they see a little girl running in the streets. They save the girl and enter the restaurant again. The girl's mother has turned into a zombie, so Dayak can't just abandon her. The kids back in the school are talking about hunger and thirst. They would love to have some refreshments to drink and some snacks to chew on. Na-yeon listens to them while she stares at the supplies inside the room. She moves to open the door but hesitates as she hears the students trying to guess if there would be any food behind this door. At the camp, So-ju manages to climb over a large wall with the assistance of his partner. However, there is a last layer of security that he needs to overcome. After attacking one of the soldiers, he runs away like hell, while the rest of the soldiers shoot at him. The students decide to give it a try and break the door, but the noise attracts the zombies, making them more aggressive. Thus, they stop their efforts. Then, Jimin grabs a camera that happens to be there and records a message for the world. All the students do the same. When it's on Jo's turn, she records a message for her father, who is trying to escape the soldiers. While she says that she hopes he is okay, her father jumps into the sea while the soldiers are still shooting at him. One of the bullets hits him. Nothing has changed for the better in the city of Hyacinth. The police forces are sent throughout the city to clear as many places as possible. However, that is an impossible mission. Zombies are everywhere and they are even threatening to infect more people in other cities. Jo's father, So-ju, comes out of a lake and checks on his torso. His wound is just a scratch, and he has to continue on his mission to find his daughter. Back at the high school, Jo gives the camera to Hyuk and Nam-ra in case they want to say something. The two kids are still tied up together, but thankfully Nam-ra has not turned into a zombie just yet. The virus has evolved, and Nam-ra can maintain her human side even though she is infected. Elsewhere, Eun-ji is wandering through the corridors. She is in the same exact condition as Nam-ra. She hears a heater and decides to check an office where one of the teachers is hiding. Eun-ji is very hungry, and she starts eating some fish alive. Sounds a lot like sushi, but it's more extreme. The teacher naturally comprehends that something is wrong with her, so he walks near her from behind and hits her. Nonetheless, this was the worst mistake of his life. Eun-ji turns on him and eats him. Eun-ji throws up as the teacher turns into a mindless zombie. In the classroom, Nam-ra is able to listen to her vomiting from a large distance. Her senses have magnified and she can even hear the heart of her fellow student beating fast, realizing that she is feeling scared. In the meantime, Nam is still alive. While drinking some water, he picks a noise and decides to check it out. He finds a senior student hiding under a car and joins him when he is invited. The senior starts bossing Nam around, telling him to run to a car and drive it near the senior so they can escape. Nam does not like to be told what to do, so he only pretends that he is going to do it. Suddenly, he grabs the senior student and pulls him out of his hideout. Nam wants to punish him. He folds the senior's wrist in order to cause him pain. The senior starts yelling and attracts the zombies near him. Finally, Nam allows the other zombies to have their way with the senior. Back in the classroom, Jo comes up with an idea so the students can escape and run up to the roof. They believe that this move will increase their chances of survival. Elsewhere, her father is trying to treat his wound, but he is interrupted by a couple of zombies. Fortunately for him, he finds a shotgun to hold the zombies back and is able to escape. Meanwhile, Hari and her group decide to make an attempt to escape the gym. The big boy is injured, so the rest of the group will have to carry him on an improvised stretcher. As soon as they get out of the gym, the zombies attack them, and the students are forced to go back inside. In the city, Detective Dayak and his officer, Ho Cheol, are getting ready to escape the place they are hiding in order to go to the high school and find Lee's computer. As they ride through the narrow alleys, they see the well-known streamer standing alone on a roof. The streamer signals them for help, and the detective decides to stop. As he tries to climb up, Ho Cheol rides away with the scooter. In the classroom, the students have barricaded the middle of the room in order to split the room into two parts. They play some music on the TV while they open the door to draw the zombies in. Their goal is to pull them inside on one end so they can escape on the other side. However, the zombies are pushing hard, and their plan is not working out as easily as they expected. In the military camp, the congresswoman is told that she will have to stay locked longer. She is not going to receive any special treatment because she is a politician. The militants also blame her for helping So-ju escape because they were put in the same cell. The congresswoman tells them that he is a father trying to do what he has to do for his daughter. She pleads with them to send a helicopter to the Hyacinth High School because there might be survivors. The general and his major need to find out what the best course of action is. The general asks if they have any helicopters available. When the major says they do not, he still asks him to call for a Black Hawk and send it to check the high school. At the same time, the military doctors and professors should keep trying to deconstruct the virus and learn more about its nature. Meanwhile, the students see that the corridor has been emptied. Now is the time for them to run toward the roof. As the kids run upstairs, a helicopter is approaching the school. The bullied boy sees it while he also hears the other students banging on the door that leads to the terrace. The boy would not mind if everyone dies, so he decides to not open the door. Inside, some of the students are trying to open the door, while Hyak and Chong are holding back the zombies. Their task becomes increasingly difficult as more zombies rush against them. While the kids are trying hard to break the door down, the helicopter lands on the terrace, and 2 soldiers find the bullied boy. They ask him if there is anyone else alive in the school, but the boy lies to them, saying that everybody is dead. Hyak and Chong-sen have to deal with yet another issue, as they realize that Goinam is still alive. He has heard them along with the other zombies, and he is thirsty to get his revenge. With everything going on, Eun-ji walks outside the school and stumbles on some of the kids who used to bully her. All of them have been turned into zombies. One more person she hates is the teacher she bit earlier, because she had asked him for help when she was being bullied, but he did not assist her. Eun-ji believes that she can bring her dream to reality, to burn the whole school and kill everyone. She rushes back inside and places the school on fire. Upstairs, Goinam is giving the students a hard time, which makes Nam-ra very angry. Her anger activates the virus inside of her, and she becomes stronger. She grabs Goinam by his throat and throws him back to the rest of the zombies. At the same time, a series of events leads to the students missing the rescue helicopter. The soldiers load the bullied boy to the Black Hawk, while the fire expands in the school. This causes the fire alarm to activate, and the door to the terrace opens up automatically. The students rush to the terrace, but the helicopter is leaving. The bullied boy sees them, but he does not say a word to the helicopter's crew. Goinam tries to smash through the door, but he can't, so he decides to walk away and find another way. Down on the ground, Eun-ji finds a bicycle and uses it to ride away. Now the students have to take some time to discuss how they will act. Chong-san is afraid that nobody is coming back for them now that the helicopter tried to look for survivors. The first thing the kids do is to use the material available around to write a big SOS signal. In the meantime, everybody else is fighting for their lives. So-ju enters a new building to hide while Daek helps the streamer by binding his leg with tape. That will stabilize it and minimize the pain. The detective tries to create some noise in order to distract the zombies. The timing appears to be perfect as Ho Cheol has found a bus and drives it to the spot in order to pick them up. The detective and the streamer jump on it after some drama, and Ho Cheol takes them away. Soon it will be nighttime, and the kids know they are going to be cold on the terrace. They try to light a fire by rubbing wood sticks together, but that's a difficult trick to achieve. Luckily, Nam-ra has a lighter and that makes things easier. Later, Ho Cheol drives the bus in the streets, but he hits Eun-ji while she rides across. Daek checks on her without knowing that the girl is infected. To his surprise, the girl is fine even though she got hit by the bus. All of them are found by a military team. The soldiers open fire against them at first, but then realize that these are survivors. Back in the gym, Hari connects with Min-ji and teaches her a thing or two about bows. Meanwhile, the musical classroom has been emptied, and Yun walks outside the small room for a quick check. She grabs the camera and walks back inside the room, locking the door. She starts watching the footage of the other students and smiles with the things they say. She decides that it is time for her to change her attitude and join them. She grabs a bag and starts loading it with snacks and drinks. But as she does, she remembers everything bad that happened because of her. Jong died first because of her, and then her professor died as well because she tried to help her. Yun is confused and can't decide what she needs to do. In the end, she decides she needs to join the others. She fills a bag with supplies and walks outside the room. However, her luck ends there. Goinam sees her and bites her. Despite being beaten by an advanced zombie, Yun turns into a mindless zombie like most of them. On the roof, the kids are chilling around the fire. They agree to meet again and spend some time around a fire if they make it out of this situation alive. While they discuss funny stuff, Chong reveals that he is in love with Anjo. The girl feels weird about it because she has obviously friend-zoned him. The two of them have a private talk. Chong-san asks her to forget it for now and discuss their relationship again after they are safe. In the meantime, Goi-nam finds a way to climb to the roof by clinging to a plastic pipe. Goi-nam grabs on Jo and threatens to harm her. But Chong-san is the one he really wants, so the two of them charge against each other. Goi-nam pins him down and tries to pay him back with the same price. He tries to remove his eye. One by one, the kids try to help Chong-san, but none of them is strong enough to deal with Goi-nam. Even when all of them try to stop him, Goi-nam pushes them back like Hercules. Nam-ra starts becoming angry and she grabs a burning wood to attack him. That is still not enough to stop Goi-nam. Eventually, Goi-nam ends up near the edge of the terrace as he tries to throw Hyuk from there. Nam-ra grabs his body and flips him over with her unnatural strength, putting an end to this battle. Hyuk checks if she is okay, wiping the blood off her lips. Jo notices them and feels jealous. Even though Chong-san checks on her, he is not the one she likes. Unfortunately, Goi-nam is still alive, and he pulls his body back together little by little. At the camp, the general is eager to learn what the scientists will discover about the virus. Although the process is moving, the major approaches and informs his superior that he has a source in the government. As he was told, the government is thinking of taking more extreme measures to contain the virus in Hyacinth. At the same time, the detective and his officer are being questioned. Daek informs the soldiers that they were on a mission to find the professor's laptop before the soldiers found them. The professor was the one who created the virus and he has recorded all of his observations with a camera. Those files are stored on his laptop. Outside, the bullied boy from the school grabs a meal and then meets with Eun-ji. The girl shares with him that she started a fire at the high school. The boy is not quite happy with the news because he notices Eun-ji is not acting like herself. The girl blames her hunger for that, so the boy offers her his meal. However, Eun-ji is not hungry for that kind of a meal. She would prefer something else. Back at the high school, the kids are trying to make sense of everything that's happening, but it is not easy to figure it out. Nam-ra notes that they should stay friends when the world comes back to its normal pace. Suddenly, the kids jump up when Nam-ra tells them that she is hearing something. Soon, all of them are able to hear the helicopter approaching. Needless to say, they feel extremely happy because they believe they are finally saved. For soldiers drop onto the terrace and tell the kids to get down on the ground. The soldiers measure their temperature. All of the kids have a normal body temperature, but Nam-ra's temperature is 2 degrees below normal. The soldiers can't comprehend that she is a zombie, so they offer her a thermal blanket. The kids are eager to leave this place, but the soldiers instruct them to stay put. They have to finish their mission first, and then they can all leave. At the same time, the kids in the gym have heard the sound of the helicopter. They want to make it out of the gym and up to the school's roof, but that is going to be hard, especially since the big boy has broken his leg, and they have to carry him along. The soldiers zip-line down to Lee's office, and they manage to find his laptop. One of them runs a cracking software on it in order to open it and copy its data, while the rest of the soldiers shoot at the zombies. While things are going well on this front, a sergeant runs into the general's office back at the camp. He shows the general video footage of Eun-ji eating the bullied boy. The general now understands that some of the infected do not act like the rest of the zombies. In fact, they are just like humans. At the same time on the roof, the soldiers are getting their equipment ready in order to pull the students on the chopper by using the automatic zipline system. However, they are surprised when the general contacts them to tell them that they should leave the kids behind. The soldiers have to execute their orders, while the students don't understand what's going on. They try to approach the soldiers, but these men have been ordered to shoot them if the kids come closer, so they give them a warning shot. Finally, the soldiers make it back on the helicopter and fly away, while the students are left behind. In the meantime, the gym crew makes it outside. They are happy to see the helicopter because they believe they are going to be saved. As the helicopter turns around, the kids try to draw its attention. The helicopter's light falls on them and they are seen, but the soldiers have to abandon these kids anyway. Elsewhere, Soju is suddenly approached by a man wandering in the streets. The man is panicked because he has no idea how to handle the situation he is in. His wife is injured in the car while she is also pregnant. Apparently, she is in no condition to step out of the vehicle and run. The man needs help, but Soju realizes that there is not much he can do to help the man. He gives his water and food to the man before he runs away toward the high school. At the camp, the general is informed that this virus is a clever one. It is changing forms and evolving. That makes things complicated. and the general proclaims that they should quarantine the people of Hyacinth for longer time frames until they make sure that they are not infected. The politicians and the rest of the people coming from the city are taken to be contained in separate rooms. Back on the terrace, the kids feel happy as it starts to rain. They can finally feel some water on their skin and also drink it. However, the weather conditions are not ideal for the zombies, who are having a hard time dealing with the sound of thunder. Goi Nam grabs a curtain to wrap around his head. Chong San notices Nam Ra, and he comes up with an idea. He approaches his classmate, June, and asks him if he thinks they can make it past the school and up to the mountain. Since the zombies can't stand the rain because it is messing with their senses, they can walk silently across the school without being heard. Chong San presents his idea to the other students, who seem to agree with him. They walk carefully through the school corridors, and they finally make it outside. At the same time, the Archer crew must have had the same idea since they also walk outside. Chong's crew is doing great, but things change when the young man sees his mother staring at him. Although she is a zombie, he imagines her being nice like she used to be when she was a human. Chong can't take any action against her, so the zombie jumps on him. Chong's friends help him by attacking the zombie, but Chong has lost his mind and attacks them for attacking his mother. Hyuk-soo jumps in and pulls Chong-san back, while the rest of the boys immobilize the zombie. Chong screams his mother's name, and the boys stop. Chong is in a bad place emotionally, but An-jo does her best to bring him back to reality and pull him away. Chong yells out "Mom" as he runs away with the zombies on their tail. A few feet further, one of the girls stumbles and falls on the ground. Her friend is about to help her, but she decides to abandon her when she sees the zombies approaching. Thankfully, the girl is saved by another student from the group, Woo, but they are still in trouble. Lucky as they are, the Archer team joins in and saves them, as Hari kills some of the zombies with her arrows. At the same time, the girl who abandoned her friend ends up in the wrong place. Her look betrays that she is seeing zombies. Eventually, all of the remaining survivors make it inside the basketball court, but an unpleasant surprise awaits them. The court is full of zombies. While running around hoping to save themselves, the students split into 3 unequal groups. The Archer boy locks himself in another room, while the big boy is eaten by the zombies. All of the rest make it into a room that looks like the coach's storage room. Dae-soo apologizes to Chong-san for attacking his zombie mother earlier. He had no idea who she was. Chong-san is devastated and kneels to the ground. Simultaneously, the girl who has ended up in an open field full of zombies is eaten, and turns into a zombie herself. At the military camp, the general is watching a video of Professor Lee, who says that he is trying to create an antidote for the virus, but nothing seems to be working. The general knows that he has to find another way, or else the whole planet may be in danger. In the meantime, the congresswoman gets a visit from the leader of her political party, who gives her some resignation papers. He wants her to sign them so she will stop being a member of the party. So Ju is still wandering through the streets, while the kids are taking a nap in the new room they use as shelter. An-jo wakes up next to Chong-san. Things feel a bit awkward between the two of them, but An-jo tells her friend that they need to chill. They already agreed to discuss about them after they are safe. So Ju has made it to the forest, and he is using some ribbons to mark the way back in case he gets lost. Back in the room, Chong-san is having a talk with Hari, who is now revealed to be his sister. Dae-soo approaches them and starts spilling his heart to Hari. He is in love with her even though she is a senior. Hari gets up and starts beating him up to relieve her tension. At the same time, Goi-nam climbs on the building's roof again, but this time he is unable to find anyone as the students have already left. In the gym room, Hyuk sees some balls flying around and comes up with a new idea. If they use the steel boxes to create a moving shield, they can make it across the court by pushing the zombies back until they reach the door. As far as they know, the zombies are not intelligent enough to climb, so they should be fine if they just create a shield around them and use other materials to hit the zombies. The general has one more talk with his men and announces that they need to take action. After clearing some locations nearby, they will find a way to attack the zombies massively. But in order to do that, they should also find a way to gather them in the same place. The students have prepared their moving shield, and they make their way to the court. Although the zombies do not climb above the shield directly, they pile up and some of them hang over it. The kids make an attempt to push them back, but June is suddenly bit by one. Min-ji tries to calm him down, but there is nothing she can say to make him feel better. June knows what the future holds for him, so he decides to help his friends before he turns. He jumps out of the shield and pulls the zombies away. While more zombies attack him, June pulls the shield hard and tells his friends that they need to go home. At the camp, the government official gives a presentation to the general, urging him to stop the expansion of the virus. According to a simulation that his people prepared, the whole country is at risk even if a single zombie escapes the city. So Ju still tries to reach the high school, but he has to evade more zombies going after him. At the same time, the students manage to reach the exit door, but it is locked. AOUAD does everything in his power to break it, but he can't, as he has to help the rest of the students push the zombies back. Jo charges at the door, but the door suddenly opens, and her father appears on the other side. Jo falls into his arms, while the rest of the kids run out of the court. In the meantime, Nam enters the other room and finds the archer boy. He initially claims that he will not hurt him, but then he picks up Chong-san's smell on the boy and moves near him, guilty by association. So Ju tells the students that their best chance is to run to the mountain and then try to reach the military shelter. To get to the mountain, they should run to the tennis court and then run through the forest. The group runs to the tennis court, but things are rarely as easy as they appear. The zombies follow them to the court, and some of them are able to break into it. So Ju lights a flare to attract their attention while he yells at the students to use the other gate to get out. The zombies are everywhere, so Ju grabs his whistle and makes noise, causing the zombies to follow him. He fights against some of them while his daughter is waiting for him, but Ju knows that he can't make it out of there without dragging the students down with him. The best thing he can do is to sacrifice, and he shuts the gate closed. Jo is shocked to see her father stay behind, but she also sees his hand, so Ju yells to the top of his lungs for the students to run away, also attracting the zombies to himself. The students make it to a new school building that is under construction, but there are more zombies waiting for them. Thankfully, they think fast and find shelter outside on the scaffolding. Jo is angry and grabs a steel pipe in her hands. Chong does not know what she is going to do with it, so he takes it out of her hands, while Hari tries to console the girl. Ironically, Ju turns into a zombie, and he crosses paths with Chong-san's mother. Meanwhile, Nam wants to know where Chong-san is, but the archer boy has no idea. Nam can smell Chong, but the archer boy says he randomly met with some younger students for a few moments. Eventually, Nam decides to bite him. The archer boy tries to attack him back, but he is unable to do so, while he is turning into a zombie. Hari and Min-ji decide to take a look around, trying to find a way to dismount the scaffolding. If they are to escape this building, it would be better if they did so without entering the inside space again. At the same time, Nam walks outside the court and is able to pick up the smell of the students, so he decides to follow their scent. At the camp, the military scientists find out that some specific sound frequencies cause the zombies to react to them. They can use these frequencies to drive the zombies in any direction they want. On the scaffolding, Nam-ra is losing control of herself. She sees AOUAD sleeping, and a voice in her head tells her to bite him. To deal with this urge, Nam-ra bites her own hand. AOUAD wakes up and realizes what just happened. He tells her that the next time she is hungry she can bite him, because he is probably going to be like her. Later, Nam-ra hears from a distance that the military is going to bomb the city in order to kill as many zombies as possible. The locations where they are going to concentrate the zombies are specific, one of them being the building they are in right now. Indeed, the soldiers release some drones that use sound in order to cause pain to the zombies and drive them where they want. The students realize they have to leave, but Nam crashes the party and starts attacking them. He manages to bite Chong, but the sound from the drones hurts him, offering Chong-san the opportunity to push him off the scaffolding. Soon, the zombies have been gathered to the designated locations, and the general orders his men to ready the bombs. Chong-san realizes that he is going to turn into a zombie, so he says goodbye to his friends. He exchanges name tags with Jo, and then runs inside the building to lure the zombies away. He didn't even hug his sister. Chong-san gets all the zombies on him, allowing his friends to make it outside the building safely. Chong tricks the zombies into falling into an empty elevator space, but the problem is Nam is still alive and looking for him. The boys finally meet. It is time for them to fight one last battle. Chong tells Nam that he does everything he does in order to feel important. He was nothing in his life. He was neither a bully nor a good student. He was just somebody who used to take orders from others. Chong grabs some sand and throws it in Nam's eyes. Despite his little trick, Nam pins him down and pokes his eye, finally getting the revenge he has been looking for. Then, the bombs start dropping, and the 4 designated locations are attacked. Thousands of zombies are killed. Chong grabs Nam to use him as a shield during the huge explosion, but who knows if they can survive this. the general is informed that the bombings have been completed. The man believes he did what he had to do. He places his major in charge, because he has been awake for long hours and he needs some sleep. As he walks across the corridor, the general stops to have a talk with the congresswoman. He informs her about the attack. The politician does not take it lightly, but the general did not have many options himself. As it is revealed soon, he feels extremely guilty for the attack. Even though he did what he considers right, he also knows that some people might have been killed along with the zombies. The general wears his uniform and shoots a video of himself, saying that he takes full responsibility for the attack. Then, he calls his wife for a brief conversation. Eventually, he grabs his gun and commits the unthinkable. Half of the city is destroyed. Chong's body lies between other bodies. Anzhou's name tag is sitting right next to his body as a symbol of eternal love to the last moment. The detective and his officer take a look outside, wondering how many people have lost their lives since the beginning of this virus. In the forest, the kids look back, but there is nothing they can do now. They have to move on and save themselves. Anzhou can't forget about her best friend. She decides to go back to the building and look for Chong. She calls his name, but he is nowhere to be found. Namra approaches her and hugs her. Anzhou was in need of emotional support. Yesterday she lost her father, and now her best friend. In the meantime, military forces are deployed in the streets to clean the city for good. They check buildings, and then mark them as safe or unsafe. Back in the forest, the students are lost, but they see the ribbons that Soju had used to navigate his way around. So they follow them until they make it to the city. Walking through the streets, the young students can only see death. Like that was not enough, Namra stops them and warns them that there are some zombies coming in their direction. Once more, the students have to grab any weapon they can find and fight. Hyaksu uses a shovel, while Namra fights with her bare hands since she is very strong. Chaos ensues once more. Haori is attacked by a zombie behind her back, but Wu jumps on its way and he is bitten in her place. The rest of the group helps them out, but it is already too late for Wu. Min-ji wants to impale him, but Haori does not allow her to do it. Soon, Wu turns into a zombie and can't recognize his friends anymore. Everybody is in emotional shock, but Namra does what she has to do. She snaps Wu's head and kills him. That is a better fate compared to wandering around forever as a zombie. Dae-su leans on Hyak's shoulder to cry. Haori is angry and can't control herself. Namra takes the bow of her hands. She tries to calm her down because they are still in danger. As she talks to her, Namra realizes that her urge is getting stronger as she looks at the blood on Haori's face. The group has to run, but Namra can't help herself. As she looks at her friends, she desires to bite them. That leads her to a tough decision. She stays behind and abandons the group. Hyaksu and Anzhou realize that Namra left them and decide to look for her. When they find her, Namra is trying to feed on a zombie. Anzhou talks to her, but Namra jumps on her in order to bite her. As Anzhou tries to resist her teeth, Hyak grabs a shovel, but he is unable to hit the girl he loves. Namra is somehow able to come to her senses and cries when she realizes what she's been trying to do. Knowing that her own friends are not safe next to her, she decides to run away. Hyaksu tries to stop her, but to no avail. Namra feels desperate as she has no idea what the future holds for her. Is she going to turn into a zombie? Are her urges going to take over her? Later, the students make it to the military camp. The soldiers point their guns at them at first, but the kids now know that they are finally safe. Their adventures flash in front of their eyes, all the friends they lost. While walking through the corridors, her father's partner sees her. He is happy she is fine, but he is sad that his partner is dead. The students are quarantined, and the military personnel interviews them to find more information about what happened and how the virus spread through their school. 4 months later, the situation has changed. The virus has been contained. From what the authorities know, the virus was never able to leave the city. The quarantined people are eventually free to walk outside, as it is now certain that they are not infected. One night, Anzhou escapes the camp and goes to a place in the forest where people have left ribbons and gifts for their fallen friends and relatives. Anzhou sees something that spikes her curiosity. The next morning, she meets with Hyaksu and tells him she believes Namra is alive. That night, the kids gather and they escape the camp together. As they walk through the forest, they see a fire burning at their former high school. It is an absolute necessity for them to check if Namra is the one lighting the fire, so they decide to visit the building. When they get on the roof, they see that Namra is alive. She tells her friends that she has missed them, Anjo wants her to go with them now that everything is starting to get back to normal. Nobody will understand that she is infected. However, Namra can't go with them. There is still stuff that she has to do. There are more people like her and she needs to help them. Namra greets her friends and jumps from the terrace, leaving them wondering what the future holds for them.